Hey, yo, what up? Your boy back at it with another one. And this time, it's gonna be in and out, alright? Short and sweet. We chilling today. Cause this game right here, not a long one, and it don't got that much content, so I ain't finna spaz on it, okay? So, the game in question, the Order 1886, you feel me? We're gonna turn back the clock like 9 years or something. 2015, this game dropped. And it came right off the back of PS4 releasing like a little over a year prior, right? So, being that it was one of Sony's first exclusives for the new console generation, I think they really wanted to show the power of the new PlayStation and see what it was, what it was really packing, you feel me? Short and simple game to really highlight the oomph, that players was gonna feel over the next few years. Now, did they succeed at that goal? Or at least an imaginary goal that I'm assuming they had based off no real evidence, other than it sounds like it makes sense? I'm gonna say, nah, not really. But check me out though, they didn't miss the mark by too much, alright? I just think they did the job a little too well, to the point where it hurt the game. So for example, like I said, this game is crazy short, which in a nutshell isn't bad. I ain't mad at that. Listen, bro, I got this game for $8, and I've definitely paid more for less. So I ain't overly pressed about the amount of content or lack thereof, you feel me? Basically, I'll say it didn't overstay its welcome, but I wasn't really ready for it to leave either, you know what I mean? It's a very straightforward game, point A to B all the way to fucking Z and shit, right? And there's basically zero side content in this game. No resources, no skill tree, no in-game collectibles, none of that. This shit is barren like my bank account, you feel me? The only real extra stuff that is in the game are these little newspapers you can find throughout the game that tell you like what's going on in the world, but they're very inconsequential. Another thing I wasn't really messing with was how insanely dark this game is, bruh. It's almost to the point where that shit is offensive because I know my eyes work. Your boy got 40/40 vision, alright? So it's really no reason I should be sitting 5 feet away from my TV. Like, be for real, come on. I won't cap though, I'm a grown man. I can admit when I may be lacking because it could very well just be me. I've been told my TV is old and washed, and I ain't got the funds to buy a new one, so I wasn't finna challenge that. But be that as it may, I feel like the hyperfixation on making this game a cinematic experience caused the game devs at Ready at Dawn Studios to attempt to blur the lines, I guess, between cutscene and gameplay. But somewhere along the way, it left like this muddy, dark fog all over the whole game. I don't know, to be honest, but if I'm being real, like, this game is ugly to look at. And I really hate to say that because now I never thought I'd say that type of shit because it makes me sound like one of them purists that, give a fuck about everything looking perfect and seeing pixels and shit and seeing the sweat glands roll down somebody's face or some shit like that. But I'm just being honest, it's better games out there. And I mean, yeah, it's an older game and that type of thing. So, but even other games on PS4, I mean, it's just nicer games to look at, bro. I mean, I don't feel like that's too crazy to say. This shit is dark as hell. I can barely see shit. Now, listen to me close, alright? My biggest gripe with this game: too many cutscenes. Holy damn, bro. Oh my god. Okay, all right. Let me start with the good news first, because the good news is I can at least admit the cutscenes are cool to watch. I will say that. No caps, there is a decent story here. It puts you into a very cool steampunk London setting with some pretty well developed characters, all with their own motivations, goals, and morals. That creates a pretty tight-knit campaign that's full of secrets, treachery, sacrifice, and subterfuge. Yo, that's a big ass word. You ain't know I knew that. You ain't know I was like that, did you? But your boys with the vocab, alright? Trust. But like I was saying, yeah, them cutscenes, nice. But there was just way too many of them, dog. Way too many. And mind you, I came to this conclusion in chapter 1 when they forced me into a cutscene just to go down a ladder. Just to go down a fire escape, dog. These cinematics are way too long. And personally, I really think that jacks up the pacing because they shouldn't be throwing these long ass clips at players this soon out the gate, because that's just asking for too much. By this point in the game, there isn't nearly enough substance in the gameplay to demand that kind of attention from people. Correct me if I'm wrong, because You know, I could be, and I damn sure don't feel like going back to check. But I think chapters 7, 10, 12, and maybe 13 were all cutscenes. I could be wrong about the exact corresponding chapter numbers, but nah, deadass, a good handful of them were literally just you sitting there. So sitting there and watching shit. So like, what's the point of that? What you feel me? Like this, I see the vision, but it was just extremely poor execution in my opinion. Like I get where they're coming from. Like I said, they wanted to show, you know, the graphics, you know, look what all we can do on a PS4. Look at these cutscenes, they're amazing, you know, they look great. Look how lifelike the people look. But at the end of the day, this shit is a game, you feel me, bro? Like, and it's supposed to be fun, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say the game's not fun, because, you know, when you're in the middle of the game, you know, you're shooting people, the feedback from the guns, the you know, the sound design, yeah, the feedback and guns and the sound design, that's what I'll highlight there. That's all I got on that part. But it's good. When it works, it works. But it's just, when it works, there's not enough of when it works. There's not enough. And that's really just the main issue. And not just with the gameplay. Like I said earlier, with the side content also, there's just not enough here. And that's a problem. And that part sucks, bro, because like they were so close. Like it's just priorities. That's what it is. It's priorities. They were putting too much focus on the cutscenes, not enough on the gameplay. Like, if they had just, I guess, went 50-50, maybe not even 50-50, because then niggas would have still found a way to complain about that too. But just the balance is improper. There's an extremely improper balance of watch time and play time, and that can't be overlooked. If you're gonna talk about this game and try to recommend it to somebody, or, you know, tell someone about the best thing or worst thing about it, this issue is somewhere on the list. And I know because what I'm saying is not an original idea. Like, this isn't groundbreaking stuff I'm saying right now. You know, I had heard this before. This was a general consensus about the game, was that there were too many cutscenes, and it was basically like playing a movie, but not in a good way, like The Last of Us, but in a bad way, like getting people to spend $60 on a glorified movie ticket. Alright, the last thing I'll speak on is that the ending, not no spoiler type shit, but I want to note that it does have an open-ended conclusion. It ends with an obvious setup for a sequel, which, I'm not gonna lie, I would have been on board with. So I'm not gonna sit here and say this game is an L, or this game is trash, or that I didn't enjoy myself, because if they were to drop a second one like today, knowing everything that they know, like all their mistakes in the first one, I'm definitely here for that. Like, I would buy into a second one if that option was available. So for that reason alone, I can't really say this game was a failure. But like I said, I have the luxury of, like I said, paying $8 for the game that a lot of people didn't have when they bought it on launch. You know, this game was full price when it first released, so I see why people were mad about the lack of content and the amount of cutscenes in the game, because, like I said earlier, man, it's not enough here, and the priorities, they were not in line. The game is just flawed in that respect. And what's crazy is, I think that aside from, like I said, the visuals, like it looking all murky and shit, that's the biggest issue with the game. The game is fun. Like, if you just play it, I mean, if you like cover-based shooters, I mean, some people aren't down with that, but you know, I love Uncharted and that type of stuff, so this is my thing. But yeah, I can see why people weren't overly impressed with this one. So apparently the development studio Ready at Dawn, they shifted to like focusing on VR, and that's why no type of sequel materialized for this. Fact check me if you want. I don't really care. I just asked Google and ran with the first thing I saw. That's what popped up. So there's that. But I mean, yeah, that's really all I got. It was a cool game. I did enjoy it. I cannot stress that enough. I feel like I kind of just got on here and shot all over this thing for like 10 minutes. But at the end of the day, if they can get my money again, they succeeded at their job. You feel me? So personally, like I said, I love third-person shooters. And like I said, I got it for cheap. So as long as the gameplay was at the very least passable, which is honestly the most accurate description I can give it, I kind of figured I was gonna have a good time. But that's just me, like I say with everything, you gotta temper your expectations on a case-by-case scenario. So I knew what I was getting into with this one, and I wasn't surprised. I wasn't like let down. I wasn't impressed. Just kind of there. It's a good, if you got time on a Saturday, you can knock this out start to finish, no issues. So I really wasn't expecting much, because my expectations were low from the jump. So it was not a high bar this game had to get over. So yeah, just decent stuff across the board, I guess. But that's all I got. I appreciate your ears. Health and wealth to the gang. Y'all be safe out there. Peace.